Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Another club, plane, next place.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
I actually did it myself. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Hey people.
Hey people.
Hey.
What is good in the Yapyard?
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Anytime.
This is episode 6.
Jesus Christ.
I know. This is also the first episode that we are recording, that we have an episode out into the ether.
Wow. Crazy.
Welcome back, soundboard.
And the soundboard has remade an appearance. Yeah, we had to revamp it. We had to work around.
We're a work in progress.
Not to give away too many of my secrets, but I had to download this app on my laptop. To make a long story short, TLDR, there are about 200 MP3 files in this podcasting soundboard app that I had a really hard time shuffling through when we were recording last. So made the decision to use this MIDI pad to upload a select few, a small percentage, shall I say. And it was really hard to decide which ones made the cut, but we figured it out, and yeah, I'm excited to use it. And I think it's going to be a rotating kind of situation. There's going to be multiple vibes on here, so please
stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yes.
We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants today.
Yeah, not a lot of predetermined topics. We don't really know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk.
We're
going to yap
chat
in the Yapyard.
This is truly just a yap sesh.
Yeah.
This is really what we're going to rely on, what caused the inception of this podcast, of us just thinking about something and being like, okay, we can discuss that for 20 minutes.
Right.
I do want to say, I know in our first episode, our intros got cut out a little bit. So at this point, you know a little bit about us.
Yes.
You know my affinity for Twilight.
Yes, we spent 2 entire episodes on it.
And there will be more. So also,
Yes.
I guess, so many chords. I guess I will say that there will be more Twilight content coming soon. A little pause because I just didn't prepare. I haven't watched Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2 in a while, so I want to give them a rewatch so they're fresh when I bring my analysis and rundowns to you. But yeah, so you know that, and you know my affinity for One Direction when we talked about our
Of course.
Apple and Spotify Wrapped.
Of course. That's why they make Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, for
Period.
podcasters.
That's why Apple did it. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then just a few other little tidbits about me is, hold on, I wrote them down. I love Adventure Time. That's a big one. That's something that I'll probably end up talking about on the pod at some point. Stardew Valley and Sims 4 are the big games I've been playing this year. I got a PC 2 years ago.
I just downloaded Stardew Valley on my Switch a couple weeks ago. Shout out Spencer for forcing me to do that during class. I literally opened up my Nintendo Switch account during class.
Please.
And she saw me do it.
Please.
So thanks, Spencer.
So wait, have you played it yet?
Not yet. I have not had the time. But it exists on my Switch when I have the time to do it.
And then I watch Watcher TV on YouTube, which is Shane Madej and Ryan Bergara, ex-BuzzFeed employees. They have their own YouTube production company and make some really cool content there. And I listen to the McElroy Bros. Those are, I think we've discussed, can't remember what got cut out, but McElroy Bros are the only podcast I listen to. And And then hobbies wise, it's like I like Legos, various arts and crafts, and D&D. So that's another, D&D is another topic that I would love to get into on an
really?
ep in the
Yes.
pod. So
Yes.
really this episode's just going to be us brainstorming other episode ideas.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, this week's kind of been really uneventful in terms of, I mean, the Oscars happened. We don't watch movies. At least I'm speaking for myself. I don't really watch movies. I will say Amelia Perez, that's just in terms of
Speak on it.
that's kind of all I know is that movie should not have gotten any Oscars, nor should it have been nominated in the first place. So
Period.
yeah, I think
The only Oscars anecdote that I have is that I went to work the day after the Oscars happened and was greeted by the 4-year-old. The girl was like, "Bree, did you watch the Oscars last night?" I was like, "Oh no, I didn't." And she's like, "They were so good."
a 4-year-old being captivated by the Academy.
And
is
to be
kinda
fair,
crazy.
she watched, I think her biggest point of captivation was the Ariana Cynthia duet, like,
T.
so I mean
Tea.
she has good taste.
Yeah, T.
But yeah, not really our neck of the woods.
Yeah. I think the only award show that I care about we already covered, which was the Grammys. So
Yeah. Oh, circling back to a little bit of intro stuff. I wrote it down and then I still forgot to say it. Made the Tumblr account for this thing, so you should go look at it and go look at it on your desktop because that's where it matters the most. So
in terms of my introductions, I'm so bad at this. It feels like I'm in the first day of class. In terms of like icebreakers, my name is Capriel. My grade is junior. My major is anthropology. No, for real. I listen to a lot of, and I might have mentioned this before in this
yeah, forgive any repeats because it was just some technical difficulties, as you would have noticed on our first episode.
that episode was crazy.
So I'm really proud of you if you're still watching here, episode 6, because that first episode.
You're real if you stayed this long.
So that to say, forgive any hiccups here because, like, yeah, I think most of our intros got cut out, but like also we've talked a little bit about ourselves at this point, so don't want to repeat too much. But
so music that I listen to, as you've noticed, probably there's a rotating selection of vinyl that I occasionally put up on my headboard. So lots of Casey Musgrave, obviously. We have an Arcade Fire vinyl. We have a Norah Jones, which I'm getting back into Norah Jones because she's very talented. It's just very like, you know,
she's a lovely lady.
She's a very lovely lady, very like mid-2000s coffee shop core, like
so valid. Yeah, she's just one of those singers that like evokes a feeling when you listen to her. Like,
it's just
she transports you to a time and place.
Very warm blanket energy. But other than that, I love Mariah Carey. Like that's my all-time favorite artist. I cannot, like, if I talk about her too much I will cry. And yeah, so I'm obsessed with her. Love Beyonce. I'm a huge Beyonce fan. Huge Beyonce fan. Love Ariana Grande. Just any like pop music you can imagine, I probably listen to it. Another artist that I've been kind of getting back into recently, which is kind of random and weird and kooky and crazy, Avril Lavigne. Taste, right?
So true.
Taste.
Like
her first album is like everything to me. I listen to I'm With You constantly, and that song is just pure poetry. And then, fun fact, if you guys are tapped in enough to know Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson,
tapped in enough, you mean like the record of our generation?
no, literally one of the greatest songs of all time. If you're not, then
that is an OG that I would put it on my lime green iPod shuffle, put the earbuds in. I'm like, oh, it's raining. Okay.
Oh, literally like the OG angsty,
Stare out the window,
like adult contemporary rock anthem.
Yes.
Fun fact, that was actually written by Avril Lavigne. And so it's on. So Avril Lavigne a couple years ago released like a deluxe 20th whatever anniversary of her like first album, and she put the original on there. It's like so
I did not know that. That's so cool.
So good. And save it. If you're a Melissa like conspiracy theorist, fucking save it. I don't want to hear it. Okay, you need to like get some psychiatric help and like talk to your psychiatrist and get some meds, because what the fuck are we doing? What are you talking about?
I can't deny that is the first thing that I thought of when you said Avril Lavigne.
I mean, same.
And not in a like, oh, I actually think that kind of way, but that it's just pierced my brain.
No,
it's
same. And I hate that has. I would say tainted. I hate that that's tainted her legacy, because she's a brilliant songwriter and such a great musician.
Has she ever talked about it? Like, how does she feel about that?
I think she's. I mean, I'm not well versed in Avril culture enough to like. I'm not like a fan.
Avril core.
I'm not like a part of Avril core at all. But I think she has like acknowledged it a couple times in interviews throughout the years, and I think she just has like a sense of humor with it.
Oh,
right?
good.
Just kind of is like, I mean, shit. I want to meet her too.
I say good just in the sense of like, I feel like if a celebrity, it's that, what is it, like people are going to
the Barbara Streisand effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, which I'm not even saying that's a good thing. Like, yeah,
right.
But yeah, just if she were to be like, I don't like it, please stop. That I just feel like would antagonize it more. Mm-hmm. So even if she does hate it in private, which she's respected and validated in doing, I'm glad she has a cool enough head to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, love Avril Lavigne, and I've liked her a lot. I mean, for a long period of time and a long periodically time in my life, she's just been kind of a reoccurring musician character. And I don't even know what prompted me to like start listening to her again. I maybe like heard one of her songs on a TikTok edit or something, and I was like,
it was your taste.
It literally was just divine intervention, just like placing it back into my neural pathways. Like, here you go, here's Avril, like start this journey again.
Exactly.
And I have. So yeah, love Avril. Also, I think I've probably talked about it, but love Amy Winehouse so much. Yes. I think she's another artist that sadly
rest in peace.
Gets like her legacy is tainted a lot by the fact that she was, caught up in a lot of scandal around her like substance abuse, which is like, being a celebrity back in those days just seems like hell. Like I part of me like can't blame her for the shit that she was going through, because when you're constant, like, that was the era of tabloids, and like, I mean, tabloids still exist, but like that was the era of like your faces in magazines in every single grocery store. Like, social media wasn't really a thing, and like if people were talking about you, it was on the news. It wasn't like, I think a lot of celebrity gossip nowadays is like relegated to social media, which can be just as harmful. But I think in the same breath, a lot of bigger celebrities don't really care about it because it's social media. But when you're constantly like faced with that and I mean, celebrity culture is whatever. Like, if you're a big celebrity, you typically are more well off. That doesn't happen all the time, but I would say in Amy's case, like, she, of course I didn't know her personally, but it just seemed like she just was like constantly getting beat down, and there wasn't a lot of room for her to breathe. So I feel bad for her a lot, and I try to listen to her music as often as I can, just to like preserve her memory. And she's had such a profound impact on me, just as someone who likes to consume media and music, and B, someone who plays and writes music. I take a lot of I follow a lot of her footsteps, I guess, if that makes sense. She's incredible. So that's kind of it on the music front. I don't really watch a lot of TV or movies. I'm more of a YouTube kid. Grew up on the YouTube and love Smosh, and just like any kind of like interesting video essay, like, I'm gonna watch it. Been really big into Pokemon. I was as a kid, and now I'm really very much back into it. It has consumed me to the point where it's like, okay, like, you need to get a life. You're a fucking like fedora wearing piece of shit. And this segues, I might talk about it later too, but if you're a Pokemon card scalper,
You should kill yourself.
someone needs to slit your throat and punch you in the fucking head.
Agree.
Because what are we doing? Have you seen those TikToks of like, maybe it's a pretty niche thing, but there are scalpers and people who go, and like Pokemon has like set up vending machines at certain locations. There's actually one at the Safeway in Philomath.
Oh, no way.
But they will
Oh, no way.
they will wait until they like freshly restock the vending machines, and like probably like 6 or 7 in the morning, buy them completely out the second they're restocked. And like, people
This is why we can't have nice things.
no, actually, it makes me feel negative
Why would
emotions.
there not be like a limit to the amount of transactions you could make, or
You would
like
think.
limit the amount of?
You would think some stores like Costco, like that sell them like not in vending machines, like the actual
But like
packages. They-
bulk.
Yeah, they do put limits on them, which is like
Good.
great.
That's so wild.
Because yeah, these fucking idiots. I also hear like people who buy like hundreds, thousands of these packs, and then I heard one guy like go completely broke, and his like pregnant wife divorced him because he like bought all these Pokemon cards, couldn't sell them because he was like marking them up 300-400%. They're like $30 or $40 for like some of the like bigger packs. These people are selling them for like $150. So it's like,
To what end? Like for what?
To what end? To what end?
literally, no, to what end?
To what end?
It makes me feel certain negative emotions that I feel like I locked away a long time ago, and they've just resurfaced. So
That's crazy.
yeah, love Pokemon, love Animal Crossing. I'm a Nintendo like kid down.
Fiend.
I wasn't really. I played like
Is Kirby Nintendo?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Do you play much Kirby?
No,
Mm.
but I got a 3DS, like a modded 3DS, and so I got like a lot of like games through like the H shop or whatever, and that you can just like download. So I got pretty much all the Kirby games on my DS that I want to play, but I wanted to get some on my Switch too because I want like the like big screen Kirby experience. If you have any,
Star Allies.
is that what you recommend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because like I went back in my Nintendo DS days, it was Kirby Superstar Ultra.
Okay.
And so then when I got my Switch, like way back when, this is like an old game, like an old Kirby game, in the
Yes.
sense of like the 2019-2020 era. It's just basically like an updated it's just like the same game to that Nintendo DS game, but just like for the Switch. And yeah, that to say, I don't have any Kirby authority, so like, please correct me, do it nicely, but like somebody could be in the comments and be like, that's like not even the real Kirby. That's like nothing like real Kirby. It's just
Right.
like and I'm like, okay.
Which
that's
is what
just-
I was gonna say. Whatever you recommend in
Yeah.
terms of A, any games at all, please let me know. But B, specifically Kirby games, because there's a trillion of them.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
but I do recommend that one just for it's a Kirby game and it's really fun. So it's
Okay.
one of those like really, it's like pretty simple and easy, just like platformer games. But
Beautiful.
yeah,
Cool. I'm so excited to play them. Kirby's obviously such an iconic, cute fucking character that's kind of the biggest draw, at least for me. That's why I wanted to play them. Is just like I just want to hold you and squeeze you.
Mhm. That's
So
a bit. That's yeah.
and I'm trying to think of what else.
Hmm.
I'm a student. I'm in school. It's like sucking the life out of me. I don't really know what to do, so I just stay in school, kids. Or don't do whatever you want, but
Inspiring.
I know, like, don't listen to me, do whatever, like, actually stay in school, get your degree. So
So true.
yeah.
Sucking dick and cock.
Or do that.
Or do that. Yeah, do that. Please.
No matter what, we believe in you.
Yes. Well, yes.
So did you say that somebody had something to say about Lady Gaga?
Oh, yes. So this is a plug. A couple plugs. We do have a form where you can go. This is in our card, in our description, in all of our social media at Yapyardigans. If you want to go check it out, it's basically a Google response, Google form where ask us anything, if you need advice. And we
share
have
your problems. There's 2 forms.
Yes.
One for like advice, any drama in your life, anything you want to just vent that is then cool to talk about on a podcast.
Yeah.
That's a fun form. I really want that to take off. I
Yes,
really
no,
want to
me
do
too.
that.
If you have roommate tea, relationship
Exactly.
tea,
and
please.
it's like anonymous, I believe.
Yes.
Like I believe I set it to the setting, so correct me. Like I don't want that to dissuade. Like we're trying to make it so it could be like semi-anonymous,
Yeah.
like or not semi-anonymous, anonymous, where you can like
semi-anonymous. Exactly.
fully anonymous of like you can just like rant. You have to use your real names or anything. It's just you can vent and we'll talk about it on the show and shit talk whatever you want to shit talk or give our perspectives. And then the second form is just like topic ideas, like
Yes.
random stuff that you would want us to sit here and discuss.
Especially for days like these where we don't have anything planned or thought out to talk about.
Nothing burning on the docket.
Yeah, so that would be really cool if we had some level.
But at the same time too, like if that does take off and we do have like several things to talk about, then it would just become an instituted part of the show. But
Yeah.
it's just like one of those that if we don't have a
That's
lot, then we'll probably keep them in the chamber. But if they start coming, then like, yeah, we'll start pumping them out.
Yes. Yes.
And then I would say that goes for the advice stuff too I would say we're probably going to start, we will probably start off, like, answering them as they come in, because I assume it'll be a little slow of a trickle. We're excited, but...
and I'll try and post them on my personal Instagram as well, like on my story. So follow me at Capriel. If you would like to
__ Capriel.
I mean, there are no Capriels in this world besides me, probably. So if you just search the name, you'll find me. But yes,
If that's the case, then who has at Capriel?
I was wondering that actually, and I can't find their account.
Maybe their private account?
Maybe. And if you're watching this, how's it going?
Hi,
It's
how
cool
are
to
ya?
have the same name. I've never met anyone with the same name as me. But watch your feedback because I want that account.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So valid. So valid.
So our responses, we have one. We have one singular response.
Well, what is this one response that we got? Our treasured
And I think I know
response.
exactly who it's from too. Spencer asks, new fave song from Mayhem. I think it's Spencer. My favorite song.
If it's not Spencer, you and Spencer should be friends.
No, literally. It's probably another gay boy somewhere. My fave song from Mayhem. Let me just pull up the album. Lady Gaga dropped Mayhem today. Friday,
Okay.
March. What's the date? 7th. And
We got a question. I felt a little bad about not having any idea and being like, I don't have. You're saying it came out today?
It literally dropped today. So
I respect the question asker. I don't have an answer for you yet. I'm sorry.
I would say my favorite song has been, and I haven't listened to all of it like all the way through, but I find myself listening to Zombie Boy a lot. It's very, and aside from Disease, Abracadabra, those are like instant classics, instant originals. But Zombie Boy, I was like immediately hooked when I first listened to it. Abracadabra. We're gonna have to cut that out. Zombie Boy gives me, if you guys listen to The Fame or The Fame Monster by Lady Gaga, it gives me Summer Boy if it was produced by Tame Impala.
Interesting.
I know,
Interesting assessment.
That's the first thing I thought of when I listened to it, and it's just a great song, great vibes. I liked the production, definitely thought it was fun. I liked the beat.
Can I just use this as a pivot point to say that, and I maybe have said this to you because it's just a thought that I had driving to work one day. In the fact that Lady Gaga was so crazy, and in the era that she came up, how did no one coin the name or term Lord Goo Goo?
Oh, if your name was Lord Goo Goo, what would your first parody? What song would you parody first? In the era of parodies, so like what song off of like The Fame?
Just Pants.
Your Mind.
Sure, I have the mind of a mastermind. What's that? I don't know.
That's brilliant. What would it be about? Would it be about your time working at Old Navy?
I could pull from inspiration there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Yes. Yes. It would be a parody song called Just Pants about when I would get on shift and look at what I was assigned to do that day, and it would just be the jean walls. The perimeter of the store jean walls. And I would do that for 4 to 6 to 8 hour shift.
You know what? I'm kind of clowning you, but the more I'm thinking about this, you know how much money you could have made from this back in 2011?
But yeah, so you asked, I answered.
That's a brilliant idea. And I think you need to apply to Harvard University because that was just like so gold.
Just Pants. I guess I need my pay. Do do do. Just Pants.
Poetry. Like people cried. Like literally people cried.
So yeah, I could do it, and I think it's a valid idea.
What would I do?
Yeah, if you could. Now you come up with a Lady Gaga parody on the spot.
Let me do some research really fast.
Another one that just came to me that I have to assume is out there already, because this again is just very on the nose. It would be a telephone home parody with E.T., and I would make a telephone parody about E.T.
You're actually brilliant, and I think you need to like move to Los Angeles to like pursue this, because what are you saying? I think I would do something about Nothing Else I Can Pray. In parentheses, pray. Do you know that song?
No, I don't.
Nothing
think
else
so.
I can pray. Pray. There's nothing else I can pray. Pray. I wish you never took me to the church. Pray. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's actually brilliant, and I think your mind is just too small to.
Oh, okay.
Like that was, you talked about iPod shuffles. That was on repeat on my iPod shuffle.
That's a funny thing to say. I have some funny ones. What are other songs that you can think of that were on your iPod shuffle?
The entire Teenage Dream album
Valid.
by Katy Perry. Also the entire what is one of the boys album by Katy Perry that was the entire what was the Black Eyed Peas album with Boom Boom Pow?
Oh, I don't know the album, but the one with like the green face.
I did have some Weird Al songs on my iPod as well. Yeah, I wish I still had like that iTunes library from like 2008.
Oh my god.
Because that would be a time capsule. But
yeah.
I don't, sadly.
Mine were stuff that I remember being on there. Like I know I had a few, but like stuff that I remember being on there was Low.
You
Cotton
9
Eye
years
Joe.
old listening to Low.
Me on the bus for the 4-day field trip. Just yeah, Cotton Eye Joe was.
Oh, that was on everybody's iPod shuffle at a time. YouTube edits were never the same after that song dropped.
Breakaway from, yes, that was definitely on there. There's definitely more. I'm just blanking on them, but yeah, those are like the deep cuts of music. Eye of the Tiger and Don't Stop Believin'. Those were on there.
Same, but only because I played Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
I think those are where I knew them from too. So
I had no business as a 9-year-old kid listening to classic rock music, like
but at the same time they're like generational songs. So
I mean, you're completely right. I think the inner gayness just was a little confused as to why
That's valid.
I was pulled towards that music.
That's valid.
But it was because of a video game. That's why, you know? So
A video game about music. So
right, that only had rock music on it, which
that's a funny crossover of like demographics.
it is. And I would argue that a lot of people that played Rock Band are now queer in some way, shape, or form. Maybe I'm pulling that out of my ass. I think I actually am pulling that out of my ass because I don't think that's true. I would like to believe it's true.
I just fact-checked myself, and I don't think that's true.
I just looked it up, guys, in my brain, and sources are saying it's completely false and fabricated. So
can't win them all.
That's my bad. Yeah.
That's dumb. You should kill yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can talk about what I'm doing this weekend since we have nothing really else to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's my boyfriend Taylor's birthday. This episode will come out much later than his birthday, but
happy birthday, Taylor.
Happy preemptive right now birthday, and happy belated birthday for whenever he's listening to this. Right. He's a Pisces, so Pisces men don't usually have the best track record, but he is an exception. He's wonderful. And
you're Pisces. It means you're gay. Oh, come on now.
Oh no. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Taylor.
And we're going to be playing D&D with his family on Sunday. Shout out to his sibling, Meg, who is possibly listening to this as well.
Hi, Meg.
The other thing that I was gonna talk about was, I don't think we've talked about our birth signs, because I mentioned Taylor's, then I was like, I haven't even talked about ours.
Let's talk about that actually, because I can pull my CoStar up, and CoStar, I don't really like CoStar, and let me preface all of this conversation by saying I'm not a huge astrology proponent.
Me neither, but it's just fun. I think I'm not a huge believer.
Yeah.
But I enjoy discussing it because it's a fun, like, mental game of does this apply to me? Oh, because
it is.
Like, yeah.
And it's a fun and interesting, just if I'm taking a step back and forgetting any conversation or talk about scientific relevance, astrology is interesting in the sense that, like, humans created that as a way to describe ourselves in the context of like the stars and space and stuff.
Exactly.
And that in and of itself is really, really cool. So again, scientifically, I really don't think it has, I would love to be proven wrong, but I highly doubt that it has any basis in scientific reality. But from a conversation starter, and just like it's fun to, dive into it. And if you have any resources that I can tap into that isn't CoStar, because I don't really like using CoStar, but it's the only thing that I have, please let me know.
App-wise, I don't have anything, but I've always used cafeastrology.com, because that like pulls up your sign, and then we'll get like, it also gives you like it gives you like all your charts, and then it like gives you the rundown of the stuff. But it is just like I'm sure if you have an account, but I just like, the annoyance of typing in the stuff, but then it'll like pop up for you. But yeah, if there are any other good like astrology apps,
let us know.
Rex, please.
From what I have typed in, because I can't remember my birth time. I have it somewhere, and I entered it into CoStar. My rising, or I guess my ascendant, is Capricorn. My moon is in Gemini, which, if this is true, moon in Gemini, the moon rules your emotions, moods, and feelings. This is a likely sign. This is likely the sign you most think of yourself as, since it reflects your personality. I will say, I wouldn't say so much anymore because I'm on mood stabilizers, but there was a time where my mood was kind of all over the place, and then I got therapy. So maybe you astrology bitches just need some therapy. My sun is in Libra. I am a Libra. I got the tat to prove it. And that's another thing where I'm like, I definitely resonate with some of the things that Libras are supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to be, if that makes sense. I am one of the most indecisive, again, better now with therapy, but I at one point was just like so indecisive, and it manifested itself. Like the example I always used was like, if I'm at a restaurant, like it takes me a trillion years to fully get something. Even today, like to this day, if I'm like going out to eat with someone or like my friends, I will look at the menu I will be the last one to order every single time. And even when
really?
Even when the waiter gets to me, I'll be like, sorry, waiter, waitress, wait them. I will still not be sure. I will probably regret my decision like the majority of the time, because I haven't like gotten to the point where I feel confident like making that decision.
That's an interesting crossroads between then like what I feel like is a very common anxious trait, and what I do is that like never stepping foot inside a restaurant before looking at the menu online.
And I do that too.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a double layer of just like, what are you doing? Like, what is my brain doing?
So you look at the menu beforehand, and you're not like, okay, I'm gonna get that. You just look at it.
I will skim through it. And sometimes, I guess it really depends on where I'm going, because like I have like certain foods, like if I'm going to Taco Bell, I know what I'm gonna get. Like
I'm picturing more of like a sit down, like if a place you're going to like make an order at a restaurant, because like that's me. I will not step foot in a place that I'm gonna sit down, namely like that I've never been to, because like if it's like an Applebee's, like that's like a different than if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to a new place. Like I will not step foot inside a restaurant that I've never been to. And not look in the menu beforehand, and not sit down, like not be like, okay, that's what I'm gonna get.
I think my biggest thing is I will do that. I will look at the menu on my phone, and I think it also depends on the context. Like if my family and I are like out or with my friends or whatever, and we just like happen to be like, oh, let's go eat somewhere, and I'm like, okay, like wherever, like it's fine. Sometimes we don't have the time to just like, all right, let's look at the phone. And even if I do, it will be one of those things where like I will think I have decided what I want on my phone by looking, and even that process takes a long time, because I'm like, shit, there are so many things, and I'm not a picky eater. I love to eat a lot of different kinds of food, so that adds another extra layer of complexity into my decision making process. So if I'm looking on my phone at the menu and I'm like, oh, that looks good, I'll have that, and then we go sit down and order or whatever, I'll get to the restaurant, and then I'm like, wait, that kind of looks good.
That's valid. And you're definitely correct where it's like I'm on a mission when I'm opening up the menu. It's like I am a very picky eater that I'm like, okay, do they have a pasta section? Do they have like a section that I like? Is this like is this gonna be a problem for me?
Right.
And like, yeah. And that to say is like that's where my anxiety comes in, where it's like more often than not a problem. Like I'll find something. I am a picky eater through and through, but I'm a lot less picky than I used to be. So it's like more of just like that innate anxiety of like being like, okay,
So all of that example, I guess, is to prove that I don't know if it's like a Libra trait or just the fact that I am a highly anxious, indecisive, like experimental kind of person sometimes, especially when it comes to food, because I love eating.
Zesty.
Like I'm just such a like quirky, zesty, kind of kooky person. So those are my big 3: Rising Capricorn, Moon Gemini, Sun in Libra. What about you?
I am a Cancer rising.
Okay.
Which is, and then my moon is Gemini, which I feel like is
What the
yeah.
I feel like I knew that, but
yeah,
I forget.
So yeah, that's you and I.
Wow.
So
wow.
definitely same page. And then my sun is Capricorn. So yeah, I'm a December Capricorn, which is also a little bit of like iffy territory, but yeah, like you said, I'm not the biggest subscriber to astrology. It doesn't hold much water for me, but it's funny because there are some Capricorn traits that I'm like, oh, like, yeah, that is definitely me in like all aspects.
Yeah.
But then there are some that I'm like, that's not me and that's never been me.
Right.
Like, so
and I think I don't know if you remember this conversation. We had this like years ago, but I do think that the time of year that you were born in has some effect
absolutely
on what your personality is, not because of some like cosmological intervention or whatever, but just because of like your environment that you find yourself in, the weather of at the time. Like
I think that's 100% fact, to the degree that like, so I guess maybe fact is too hyperbolic because it's not necessarily the same for everybody, where it's like anybody born in December is going to have all these traits.
Yeah.
But the majority of people born in December, and I guess that also it is like culturally too. So then speaking, if I sometimes don't make this preface, I mean this preface of I'm speaking about America. So like
that's such an important
like
distinction.
I say it, but I don't I'll say blanketed things, but I am not thinking about it of like, oh, this must be how it is everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, or every single person in the world born in December, but like read like in America and in American society, I don't think it would apply to every person born in December. But if you look at the majority of people born in December, they're going to like have very similar traits, very similar vibes of human beings.
Yeah.
I would believe that's true. I don't think there's like statistics on that because you're talking about like intangible things. Like there's statistics of how many people in America are born in December, but like not the percentage of people that have a dope ass vibe like me. So
yeah, exactly. And I think that's why astrology is so hard to like study or just
like try to quantify.
Yes, quantify is a good word. And like I wouldn't even say astrology, but like just the notion that when you're born during what time of year can affect your personality, that's hard to quantify because how do you quantify vibes?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Or like quantify personality traits.
Yeah.
Like
it's just kind of those things that you just kind of know and feel. And yeah, it's like you can look at a majority of people who were born, and not even like a majority, but enough people to be like, oh, I'm just noticing a pattern.
Yes.
But there are definitely people that fall outside of that pattern, but that pattern is still there.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, and I feel like maybe, I mean, that's astrology's whole premise, but just to lump everybody into that one name of Libra or Capricorn or Gemini or whatever is like, it just seems really, honestly, it just seems like, I don't know if disrespectful is the right word, but just disingenuous to like their personal human experience, because
disingenuous, I feel like, is a very good word.
People also act certain ways because of traumatic events.
Exactly. There's so many variables too. I guess that goes back to, speaking blanketedly about like a majority of people born in December. It's like, yeah, maybe I'll even walk that back a little bit because there's just so many variables.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people. Like, so yeah, there is some substance to like, okay, there's going to be a vibe of people born in December, but like, as a human population, there's just so many variables to like your vibe, who you are. So there's no
Right.
it's impossible to quantify. So it does feel a little disingenuous to be like, no, it says this because I was born at this time, that this is a fact. It's like, that's not what that means.
Like, no, actually your mom neglected you, so I think that's probably why, sadly.
Exactly. No, you just didn't get picked up enough.
No. Your parents forgot you after basketball practice.
Turn around. Flathead. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that an ugly ass bitch like this would even say that. Oh my God, are you insane?
My God. Wow. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Oh, that's funny though.
So yeah, I mean, and this is, I don't mean to shit on if you truly are into that kind of stuff, like by all means, please explore it and have fun with it, but don't project, please. Like, I see a lot of TikTokers especially be like, I'm gonna give you a free reading, like this is why you're this way, blah 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 blah. And it's like, girl, like you need, like I said, go to therapy. Your meds are not working.
And I feel like with astrology is not unique, that like you could apply this to a lot of things, is like, yeah, if you feel targeted by somebody saying, I don't want you to preach that at me, then like, and saying that to a blanketed audience, where it's like, if you subscribe to astrology and you find it like very meaningful and important to you, and we're sitting here saying like, okay, that's totally cool, just don't preach about it, and like don't make it seem like that it's like a plug and play for every single person, and you find that offensive, it's like, then that's not an us problem. It's like, we are very open and accepting. We love if you love that. And I would say most people are like, cool, do what you want. Like, most people that are arguing about how stupid, or I won't even say most people, but there's plenty of people that like don't subscribe or don't believe in astrology, but they're like, do whatever you want, makes you happy. The tipping point is when you're like, oh, not only do I subscribe to this for myself, but it's like telling me about you too. It's like, that's not true. Not necessarily true. So
So
that's all. We love you, even if you love astrology.
Well, sort of, kind of.
Depending on who you are.
That's a great stipulation. That's all I have to say about astrology, at least. I mean, I say all that, have a Libra tattoo, like I said, so it's literally a part of my body. So.
But that to say, like, that's the thing, is that you can also then like accept its symbology and accept its like part that it plays, while also not thinking that it's fact. Being like, oh, there's a sign for a Libra. That doesn't mean I am every single trait that a Libra has, but like, you are still a Libra so that's where it's like kind of a gray area, where or like gray area for myself, where it's like, I don't know scientifically of like if that is a fact, where even if the like personality stuff isn't true, like there's scientific fact to the fact that like where the stars were when you were born that did happen. But like, I don't know if that scientifically makes you a Libra, if that's just like something else. But yeah, like, it's not, you can participate in it without thinking it's the word of law.
That's
like,
so true. That's so true.
That's so true. You have
Exactly. So, what are you looking forward to the most? If we're gonna, let's do a little manifestation corner exercise towards the end here.
I think that I will manifest for the week to come that we will upload our second episode for you.
Our
second episode will be up.
We do this for you and you only, and you disrespect us like this.
Okay, I don't really have anything else other than that. Is like, I want to get the second episode finished and out, and I want to make progress on the third episode. And then I also need to go grocery shopping next week.
Those are all perfect manifestations. And
so that's what I need to happen
I'm
next
sending
week.
you amazing vibes.
Thank
for
you.
That, yeah.
What are your manifestations for next week?
My manifestations are, I'm going to start the social media editing process.
Beautiful.
Also, my finals week is coming up. So I'm manifesting completing my final projects, my final papers. I'm manifesting getting out of this term at least with my head above water. I don't think I'm going to get great grades, but like, you know what I mean? C's get degrees.
Absolutely.
Even if that C is like a 69.9%.
69?
69.
Nice.
So yeah, manifesting good finals, a good end to the term. I'm also manifesting good positive vibes for this podcast just in general all the time. I want people to enjoy it. So far the reception has been great, even after one insane episode.
And we hope that you stick around and listen to us talk more. We will have more to say.
Yeah, trust.
This is just a busy time this is a busy time for Cap getting through school. I don't know why I blanked on saying that. Cap's in school, so they're busy. I have a full-time job, and we are in these last 2 weeks was the final steps of like uploading and putting an episode out, which just like took a little bit of crunch. Yeah. So topic of conversation went a little by the wayside, but we're still kicking. You could have sent something. So
yeah. This isn't all our doing, even though it's a podcast we started and conceived by our own volition.
We put the ball in your court, so
this is very much
dribble.
Just
let it dribble.
Yeah, this is just
but
as
we
much your
forgive
project
you.
as it is ours.
We forgive you, and next week will be better. We're just getting better and better.
Yes.
Like you saw episode 2, right? That'll be out in the future, but I know already looks better than the first episode.
Episode 2 was so crazy. It looks so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Hopefully one day we'll have some sort of actual closing line instead of just kind of the audio cutting off and then going into our outro music. But today is not that day. So, bye.
That's dumb. You should kill yourself.